Looks like it's week 2 is pretty much wrapped up. The Fantasy Football League Purple Rube. It's a little premature, but we pretty much know who's winning what at this point. So I just wanted to do kind of a quick recap for you on the week and how everything went. Before you know, now you know kind of stuff. But first I want to start off with a roll call. Most of us have been in this league a long time. We probably don't know everybody who's in the league. We've been pretty much the same group for quite some time. Although we did have one new addition. Everyone's favorite, Ryan, didn't make it into the league this year. He's taking a break, hiatus, sabbatical from the fantasy game. And so we had to replace him. Otherwise, the crew's been the same for the last couple years. Pretty much everyone here is from Verizon, but I'll run down just so we know, everyone has an idea who is who. And I'll do it in the order that people finished after week 1. So week 1 finished with Bear Cage. Number 1 is a coworker from Verizon Wireless. Works in a retail store, formerly Albert Lee. That's where I know him. And his name is Eric, and he's rocking it down in Iowa. Dynasty is Troy, former Verizon Wireless call center employee. Banana Hammocks comes the way of Eric, friends, disc golfers from the Albert Lee area. 3 and Out. He is a longtime friend, Levi, rocking it out in the Twin Cities. Then obviously me, 4th and Long, your commissioner. And if you guys don't know me, then I'm confused on how you ended up in the league. Blood, Sweat, and Beers ended up in the league because of the blood portion. He is my brother, Carl, and he is also former Verizon Wireless call center employee. Punky11, she came in via... technically was a former Verizon Wireless employee with me at the Albert Lee retail store. But really she came in as Eric Barricage Harbachek's spouse and mother of his beautiful child. So that's how they ended up there. One of 2 couples. Well, let's say 3, because you have the Radloff brothers in the league. So there are a few husband-wife combos in the league. You've got Irishman, not a former Verizon Wireless. You got yourself a Blue Earth County Correction Officer. Matt, a longtime friend, graduated with Carl. Cobra Kai is going to be your fellow Verizon Wireless call center employee, Paul. And then you've got one of the Radloffs. You've got Hawkeye 550. Sadly, he's a Bears fan. You know, what can you do? You got to fill the league somehow. He's in by way of his brother, but he is one of the 2 Radloffs. Then we have Gurley and the Jets, which is my lovely wife, Sarah Carlson, and also a current Verizon Wireless call center employee. Bobo Men, currently a Verizon Wireless employee, but formerly Verizon Wireless call center employee. Mark Potter, changing up his name this year. Also, Bear Cage was a new name, formerly Off Constantly, because, you know, even when he loses, he wins because you beat Off Constantly. Joke never gets old. Then after that, we've got Always Next Year, former Verizon Wireless call center employee, now by way of Sioux Falls, is a Verizon Wireless network technician. We got Josh. And last but not least, the final Radloff brother, you know, doing what he's doing, bringing up the rear, Gronk E. Kong, Mark Radloff. So of the 3 couples in the league, we have Eric and Emily, John and Sarah, and Mike and Mark Radloff. The other ridiculous thing that happened, we had 2 teams go into the draft with players in the names of their league. Neither one has that player on their team. We have Gurley in the Jets and Gronky Kong. And neither team drafted their namesake after entering the draft with that individual's name in their league. The other craziness behind that is they each have each other players. Gurley in the Jets has Gronkowski, and Gronky Kong has Gurley. I don't know what the world's coming to. But that is kind of a quick roll call of everybody that's in the league, how they got there. probably long-winded. Most of you've probably turned this off already, but why not run down week number 2? We'll start with my matchup against Irishman. I don't know how in the world did I devise the decimal scoring system that goes to 2 places, and we still had a tie. And we both had really high scoring games at 133.8. I don't know how you end up in a tie, but we did. As of right now, the scoring system showing me, your commissioner, as the winner, but we'll see how that comes out. Then we kind of went down the list. I've got Punky and Cobra Kai, Paul and Emily. It looks like right now, I'm just taking a quick look. I'll do a scoring update as I record this. It is just past halftime, and Cobra Kai, short of Golden Tate scoring, 3 touchdowns in garbage time. It looks like Cobra Kai is going to pull this one out. Really, pretty lucky for him. He left some points on the bench. If Bennett could hold on to a ball during that Green Bay game, things might have been different. But Emily's tight end was dropping balls like a hernia specialist, and unfortunately, it didn't go her way. Then we've got Ray Banana Hammocks and Levi 3 and out. Banana Hammocks lost, took it pretty hard. He got hurt real bad by Jordy getting hurt with 0 points, and that was going to be his first round pick. And with that quad injury, he might be fucked. And then he put in Thomas Rawls. That was brave with those 0.4 points. Just didn't get the job done against Levi, who still had some players to go, but, he's pretty much locked that one up. Then we had Gurley in the Jets versus Always Next Year. Josh and Sarah rekindling things, and it looks like when I checked earlier today, Josh had a 15-point lead, but definitely looks like he is going to be beat by Gurley and the Jets, where it's 123-118. Unless the 2 quarterbacks she's got playing start throwing interceptions, Josh is done for and is going to stay at the bottom of the standings. See you next year, Josh. Blood, Sweat, and Beers and Hawkeye 550. The former Bear, Jeffrey, took the Bears fan pretty far, but it's not going to be enough to beat Carl. He's still got 1 player to go, and he's already ahead. So that one's pretty much locked up. Carl got a huge game from Ty Montgomery and Jason Witten. He's going to be doing pretty good if those two couldn't put on those points. And last I saw, ODB was out there getting some points, so Carl might be one to be feared. We had Bobo Men and Gronky Kong, Mark and Mark, former roommates, battling it out. But it looks like Gronky Kong is going to beat that one out and boost himself off the basement floor. He got hurt by his Bear fandom and going with Jordan Howard, but Mark Potter pretty much took it in the pants with Jimmy Graham, as I did in another league. Oh, and who starts Bilal Powell? That is just ridiculous. It's a 14-team league, so there's not a lot available, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And then the final one was a matchup of number 1 versus number 2. And we've got Bear Cage falling to Die Nasty with a reasonably high-scoring game. Looks like Bear Cage left a few points with Javoris Allen on his bench. And, who plays Larry Fitzgerald? He had better options. That's what it gets. C.J. Anderson comes out with a big game and destroys Eric. Not really. Looking at all the games, the point differential, pretty close in most of them, and pretty much all of them. I think you were going to see, depending on how the last couple of games come out, who have players going, that the biggest point spread might be 15 or 20 points. But it's tight. It's competitive. People are doing pretty well. If anyone wants to know how the 2 quarterback thing is matching up, it looks like if Punky takes the loss, that 4 teams that played 1 quarterback won, and 3 of the teams that played 2 quarterbacks won. So, there's definitely not a strong advantage right now to playing 2 quarterbacks. So any of you in the draft who thought, I may have missed out by not going 2 quarterbacks, right now it's been neck and neck both weeks, where the teams who've only played 1 quarterback, have competed very well with the other teams. So, if you're thinking, dang, I want